Hi, welcome to Arty Crafty Alchemy. Today I am using items from the January Hedgehog Hollow box to make a card. I'm the Arty Crafty Alchemist. Let's get started. So I have the stamps here and I have to admit this is the third time I've tried to film this. The embossing powder I started using wasn't working, so I had to go and get this one. I don't know what brand it was. I just got it from my mum and it works. I was using a different one and it wasn't melting. What I am going to do is stamp a lot. I got the embossing tool out and forgot, so maybe I will try and do the rest. What I'm going to do is drop my ink pad apparently. Repeatedly stamp this design and just flip it as I go. I'm going to fill this entire piece of cardstock. Sorry, I'm going to fill half this piece of cardstock. I just need a card front size. That should be enough. I'm going to toss on my generic silver. I am going to heat up my heat tool and emboss this, and I will speed it up so you don't have to listen to it. Okay, I could leave it like that, but I am going to heat it one more time just to smooth the embossing out a little more. Now I'll hold this a little closer just so you can see the difference between this one up here, which I haven't reheated, and these ones here, which are a lot smoother. They almost look like they could have been foiled rather than heat embossed. I can't remember if I saw that tip on Jennifer Maguire's channel or somebody else's, but I just love how that turns out, so I tend to use that quite often for my embossing because I like the nice smooth look. I have my card front here, so I'm going to trim this down to card front size. In this case it is 4 by 5.5 because I'm using Aussie C6 size cards. Just taking a little off the top and bottom. I'm just going to check my size. And I think I need to take a smidge off the edge. You may have noticed I've grabbed my Distress Oxides out. I don't have a whole lot of colours yet, but I am working on it. That's a little better. Well, what I thought I would do was take Salty Ocean, Seedless Preserves and Wilted Violet and some black soot and make a sort of galaxy. So I'm just going to start off and randomly add some ink on, and then I'm going to switch to Wilted Violet and randomly place that on as well. Then I'm going to switch to Seedless Preserves, and then I'm going to come back with the Salty Ocean just to brighten those bits back up a bit. Next I'm going to take the black soot and gently start going around my edges. And I've just pulled the black in from the sides a little bit. Now I am going to grab my Distress Mister and I'm going to hold it above and do some big drops. And then I'm just going to give a little mist. I've let it sit for a few seconds while I grabbed a piece of paper towel. Now I'm just going to lift, and now I have a galaxy background, and I'm just going to very lightly polish up the silver. Just going to add a little bit of the oxide that's left on the sponge to the outside of the card. And there we have our first layer. I am going to stamp a couple of these. I'm not sure which one I want to use yet. And I'm going to try it on this paper, which is the same J. Burrows paper I've used for my background. I'm just going to grab my folded piece of paper so I have it ready. You know what I didn't do? Dust down this piece of paper to make it not so sticky. I'm going to ink the stamp up really well. Now I'm going to put on some more silver embossing powder. I'm just going to heat emboss these. Then I'm going to press down the Distress inks onto my mat. Move this out of the way, otherwise I'll end up getting water on it. I'm just going to randomly drop the colours into the spaces. Cleaning the brush really well in between colours. Just filling up the spaces with the colours and letting them do their thing. Again, cleaning off the brush in between. This one's not cooperating very well. Now I'm just taking the third colour and dropping it in. So I've used Wilted Violet, Salty Ocean and Seedless Preserves. I'm just dipping back into here. There's a piece over here that I wanted to be Seedless Preserves. Also deepening up a couple of the colours that I felt were a little too light. I'll just give it a little blast with the heat tool. And I'm just going to get a tiny touch of the black and do in this little spot here and this little spot here. My camera cut out while I was filming that. I got so into the zone that I didn't realise 30 minutes was up. I coloured that with the Salty Ocean, Seedless Preserves and Wilted Violet. And then I did the same thing with just a touch of black soot for the nose and the head of the butterfly. Then with a little bit of oxide that was left on my sheet, I just spritz it with some water and made a background that I can use for something else. Now I am going to fussy cut these out, which thankfully, because their angles, shouldn't be as hard to do. My SD card is getting full, so I will come back when these are fussy cut. Okay, so after making these, I've decided I'm going to use them on a different card. I just don't want to cover up all of that. So what I'm going to do instead is stamp this with Nuvo with the clear marker. Then I'm going to grab my paper and embossing powder. Forgot to use the embossing buddy. Going to heat that up and I am going to cut around it. I have cut around that one. I actually made a second one because the embossing went a bit weird on this one. I am just going to grab this and see what it looks like with a little bit of ink around the edges. While I decide, I have a piece of black and I'm going to take the geometric love words and I have You Are My Singularity. I'm going to ink it up with the Nuvo and I'm going to stamp it on the black and emboss it with the silver. And I forgot again. I will heat that and be right back. I am going to take this black piece of cardstock and stamp this geometric pattern on it. But first, and I might do two just in case the first one doesn't work. Again, I'm going to use the silver embossing powder on these. Sort of fibre in there, I'm just trying to get it off. There we go. I'm going to heat emboss these. I'll be right back. I've heat embossed that and cut around it. I turned my sentiment into a banner. I am going to tape this down. Then I'm going to add foam tape behind. I'm just trying to decide, do I want that one or do I want the one I've cut around? I might go with the one I've cut around. So all I did was cut the corners off up against the embossed lines. Then I'm just going to flip it over and add some foam tape. So I'm just going to add that on. I think I'll add them both on. And then I'm just going to pop some foam tape behind the banner. And then I've just added the You Are My Singularity. And there's my finished card. Two stamp sets I used for this are Geometric Love and Finding Your Way. And they are both Hedgehog Hollow stamps. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to see more content like this, and hit the bell notification to know when new videos come out. I will link my planner channel over here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now. I'm back. I grabbed some stuff. I cut 2 stitched windy backgrounds. I layered them up and cut them at the same time. One is a nice crisp image and the other one is a much more subtle, fainter image. And then I did the same thing with a stitched border die. I have some black cardstock, my silver embossing, my clear mark, and the sentiment stamps. I am sorry if you can hear music. It does not matter. When I try to film, it always gets noisy next door as soon as I turn the camera on. I'm just going to cheat and put some tape runner on because I'm too lazy to get up and go and get my glue, which is packed to take to a class. So now we have our stitch background with a border, and I'll do the same to this one, though I don't know if I plan to make both of these right now. I might decide to keep one and use it for later. I decided that because I'd made these beautiful pieces that they needed to be used, and I'd make some bonus cards. I also have these 2 bonus pieces, but I'm not using them this time. They're just extra pieces. This one was actually on a scrap, so I've got all this mess on the back that has come through and made this pretty cool texture on the front. I might take Spread Your Wings and then Follow Your Dreams. They know where to lead you for one card, so I think I'll do that for the owl card. I'm going to ink it up with the Nouveau. I don't know what happened to my piece of paper, so I'm just going to use this random one I had here. Going to heat that one up. Go over it twice to make it nice and smooth. I'm going to trim that one off. And then going to make a very short banner. It doesn't matter that that end bit's not straight. I'm going to actually cover that up. I'm going to use the body of the butterfly to raise the wings a little, and then just curl the wings with my fingers. Got 2 thin strips for the body. Just going to layer that on that. Add 1 piece of tape to that bottom one, 2 pieces to that side. I might grab a card base. I have to trim the card base down. Oops, I better put the lid on that before I spill it. Because we use Australian size card bases especially, I need to trim the end off. Then I'm just going to put some tape on. It's sticking out just a smidge, so I'm just going to take a smidge off the bottom. It's better. So I stuck both backgrounds down. I figured why not while I was there, even if I don't use it for this one. I've decided on the butterfly now, so what I'm going to do is lay this on. We've got Spread Your Wings, and then I'm just going to take the tape off these that I've shaped. Actually, I think I want to take one of these layers off and push the middle down a bit. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get them apart, so what I'm just going to do is cut another small piece and stick one skinny piece in the middle, and then it will make the wings pop up just that little bit more. Now we have a nice, quick, clean and simple card, and I'm going to actually stamp the other stamp in the middle. I'm just going to grab the jet black archival and then stamp this down. So follow your dreams, they know the way. That was a nice, quick, easy card. If you wanted to, you could add some gems or some bling on there to dress it up a bit more. Now I could do the same again with this if I wanted to, and have the I'll always love you, thank you for your wise words, would both work on there. But I think I'll save this one for another project and save this background for another project because they are both easy and ready to go. These are our 2 cards. I was having a bit of difficulty working out what I was doing. I originally wanted to put these on here, but they didn't look good straight on there, and then if I put a white piece on there it covered up too much of the background so you couldn't see the pretty galaxy I made. So in the end I went this way with the Lawn Fawn Wind background. I think that's what it's called. So that is my bonus card. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!